Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. The boys are back for some action. Let me figure out where I gotta go here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Now the music's off. Everything's sounding beautiful. Jeff, how are we today, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. Freshly back off of a nice little sabbatical, little trip I took for the wife's 40th birthday. Been back
Nolans, right?
For a few days. Yeah, we were in New Orleans. Came back, had a great dinner actually. Shout out to Palm Tree Club over in Point Orlando. You get into these situations sometimes where you go to a dinner, and we picked this place because it had an eclectic menu of different options for people who might not be let's just say that there's a wide variety, right? There's sushi, there's pizza. It's like you're at Splitsville, except everything is pretty much elevated. And the food was fantastic. The service was great. Shout out to Mario and George over there. Took great care of us. Went upstairs, popped some bottles after at their nightclub. Had a great time up there. And yeah, it was fantastic. New Orleans was great too. New Orleans is one of those places, like we went with like the least expectations that we could. And because of that, I think we were generously rewarded with a great positive time.
What do you mean by the least expectations?
Well, I think when you talk to people sometimes, right, especially when you talk about New Orleans, right, everybody has their opinion. Everybody's got a restaurant you got to go to. They got the best spot right here. They got the best this, so it's whatever. Now, but people also tell you, look, it's dirty. You walk out there, it smells. It's not the most glamorous spot, if you will. To be able to go, especially when you're trolling around on Bourbon and the French Quarter and stuff like that. So we went there with very low expectations in terms of what to expect and, kind of be on our guard and P's and Q's. And I think we were just pleasantly surprised by the way the city was, the hospitality, the way the people were, and just everything in general. So it was a good time. I had some of the best meals I've had there. And then I had, some meals that really fell flat, that were really, went to a Michelin spot, and it was the worst meal we had the entire trip. So it's just, you never really know sometimes,
I find, honestly, a lot of the Michelin spots are overrated. I don't know if it's they get their star and then they're just like, whatever. But, we did that on that Europe trip. We hit a few Michelin, and they were just not it. Not it.
Yeah, like
I
order a fish, and they bring out the fish, but it's literally just the fish. Like, there's no sauce, there's no anything. You know what I mean?
Well, if the fish is cooked properly, Jeffrey, I don't know if you need sauce. Do you put A1 sauce on your steak?
No.
There it is.
Anyway, I just
did you do any voodoo tours, any ghost hunts, anything like that?
We decided to stay away from that. Positive vibes only over here. Those are always options. There's always those people who are, that's the Nora's one of those places. Everybody there's got a hustle, right? Everybody there has some kind of a grind or whatever it is. We're sitting there going to take a picture in front of the Jackson Square Park or whatever, right? And there's a nice little overlook that sits there. And so we're taking some pictures, some selfies, and this guy goes, "Oh, can I take a picture of you guys?" And I go, "No." And before I could even finish, my wife's friend had already handed the phone to the dude, and I'm like, "Oh, here we are." That's what
$5, $10, how much?
I mean, I all I had was a 20, and I had to ask for change because I was not. I'm not doing the $20 to take my picture, bro.
So did he ask you? So you gonna give me a little something for this?
Oh, well, it was, as soon as the picture was taken, and before he even would hand the phone back, he goes, "So just to let you know, this is kind of the way I make my living. I'm retired, yada yada yada." And he, full spiel, and before he could even, I'm just like, "All right, look, I got it. I understand."
Military veteran?
Possibly there was possibly one of those things in there as well too. I didn't hear the military veteran part because I'm always
I got 9 kids to feed.
Very much thank you for your service. Appreciate your dedication to our country, America, whatever. I did get called a white devil there twice, which was fun.
Nice.
Interesting.
Little story behind that?
Not really. Like one, we were walking through Jackson Square Park, and this lady was just like, "Look at this white devil. I bet he's gonna kill his wife." And Amanda's sitting right next to me, and we just turn and look, and she's like, "Yeah," starts just snapping on me. And I hit everybody with the same thing. God bless. I hope you have a great day.
Obviously, another white person said that to you. Obviously.
No, it wasn't. But it also wasn't like a drug addict. It was like a normal. I mean, I guess not normal, but I mean, like
I was gonna say.
Like she was just like
obviously there might be some racial undertones there, Jeff.
It was like she was just out on her smoke break from day trading and decided to come down and racially accost me, and then keep her day moving. It was hilarious. I don't even know how to react. I'm like, okay.
God bless you. I hope you have a fabulous day.
Oh, God bless me. All right, just keep it moving. And then the other time we were sitting at Cafe Beignet, which, by the way, if we're comparing Cafe Du Monde and Cafe Beignet, it's not really comparable.
Don't know what you're talking about.
So there's 2 spots that you go to in New Orleans, right? Cafe Du Monde is what everybody knows. That's the famous one. Every movie, whatever. It's cash only. You walk in there. Normally, it's like a pretty significant wait. We ended up getting in. It was slow in the city. We went in like this downtime, so we slid right in. Whatever. But beignet wise, coffee wise, everything wise, there's this other spot called Cafe Beignet, and there's 6 or 7 of them around the French Quarter in the city. Cafe Beignet. Hands down, better beignets, better coffee as well too than Cafe Du Monde.
Jeffrey Schneider, the coffee connoisseur.
I don't know if I'm a coffee connoisseur, but it's just a variety of different coffee. Cafe Beignet is like you can get coffee with milk or coffee without milk.
I'm a big affogato guy.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, sure. If you want, vanilla gelato to go along with espresso, that seems like a great option. The one thing that I did do at Du Monde was take the powdered sugar that was just draping off these beignets and put them into the coffee.
Yeah,
that was a pretty pro move.
That was one of the things when I started my journey at the French Quarter where I'm at, and the beignets was the big thing. And I never had one before. My mother-in-law talked it up, and then they gave us one for at our orientation. I'm like, it's just a powdered donut.
That's it, baby.
What are we doing here?
I mean, it is. It's a square. You're
right.
It's fried dough. Jeff. It's doused in powdered sugar.
I watched them make it. I know.
Yeah, but if you are heading to, and that was also cool too. Last day, shout out Sophia. We're sitting there very last day. We're about to go, and also we went to this place, Brennan's, amazing spot, by the way. They created the Bananas Foster. It's a great story. If you get a chance to go to Brennan's, absolutely. It is a New Orleans staple. They're celebrating 80 years in business right now, and
I've heard of that one.
It is the spot, man. I don't know how that place is not in the top 10 of highest grossing restaurants because they turn burn. They do everything. Like when you're in the industry and you notice small things, right? So they're flipping a table. They put a green sash on the table. That indicates it's an anniversary. So everybody who walks up to that table, happy anniversary. Y'all appreciate you joining us tonight. If they had a pink sash that was on the table, it's a birthday. Oh, whose birthday is it? Thank you so much for coming to celebrate with us tonight. Happy birthday. Those little small things I thought went a long way. the way that they do their business by bringing out cotton candy for birthday. The whole thing was incredible, and it's a New Orleans staple. You have to go to Brennan's if you get a chance to go to New Orleans. But shout out Sophia. She texted us. She got it a little bit early. She was there for Jazz Fest, had a chance to meet her up, go to Cafe Beignet, grab some coffee, donuts, and then grab a Bloody Mary at Brennan's before we had to hop on a plane and get back. But it was cool to meet her and her significant other. Really, really cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
so definitely a rich city. Dark history. Dark,
Yeah,
a lot of good stuff.
We did the hop on, hop off one day, and so it's we got the full hour and a half in of the entire history of the city, of everything that went on. It's kind of crazy.
Any vampire lore, Jeffrey, that was discussed?
Well, my wife is a big fan of the originals and some of the other vampire stuff that had been around. So we had to get pictures at all those spots as well too. And then I had one of the best sandwiches of my life at Turkey and the Wolf. Shout out Turkey and the Wolf, man. Just
sounds
really
like
good.
There was a lot of food involved.
That was the problem, is that so we had drinks everywhere we went. We never got drunk. Like not once were we lit, because we ate so much that it was impossible. There was a lot of Pepto that was popped, a lot of Peps at AC. I'm getting to that age now where 10:30 rolls around. Daddy's had 5 beers and three full meals. I'm done. I'm used to having 1 or 2 here a day. I can't do it anymore.
Well, it sounds like it was a beautiful trip. I'm glad you had a good time.
It was cool, and I'm sorry that we wasted 12 minutes on it to start the show.
That's all right. You ready to talk some sports?
Let's talk some basketball, baby.
Let's get into it as it is. My wife said the other day, Tyson, I thought you didn't like NBA. And as I've always said, because I was glued to the television, I don't like the regular season NBA. Mm-hmm. Playoffs is absolutely amazing. And I watched some really good games. The Detroit Pistons and the Magic, it brought me back. I think it was the last game. It was like 90s style, bro. The Spurs last night with the Trailblazers, the way they were checking each other. Let's start off with the Hometown Magic, Jeffrey. Hometown Magic up 3-1 against the number 1 Detroit Pistons. Obviously, we just need 1 game to close it out before they get to 3 games. Jeff, how do you feel about the Magic? That went in tonight, right? On Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime tonight.
Yeah.
Good luck. Listen, I think there's a few things about this series that have been you couldn't have told me 2 weeks ago that this is how this is going to play out for Magic fans. I mean, 2 weeks ago we were at a point where it was fire Mosley. It was possibly trade Paolo if you can get Giannis back. It was blow it up. They had no motivation. They weren't playing for him anymore. Yada yada yada. We get blown out by the Celtics with all their reserves in. We get blown out by Philly in the first playing game, which gives us the draw to then play the Hornets. And I was fortunate enough to grab some tickets. No. We played the Hornets in the second play-in. I was fortunate enough to grab some tickets with Omar and be able to go to that game. And the energy in the arena, it was just like the way that first quarter played out. We were up by 20-something, and we won by 30. The game was over. But the pops that you heard in that first quarter was a fan base that has been longing for something like this for a long time and just wants to feel this feeling right now. The fact that they've come out, and I don't know how they won last game. I say that every game that they've won this series, is that I don't know how they won it. How do they win it with Paolo making 4 field goals? How do they win it
right now,
with Jalen Suggs? Yeah,
and Kane.
But Jalen Suggs makes one of like 13 or whatever it was. He was one of 11. Jeremy, I mean, but somehow Jalen Suggs is plus 17 on plus minus when he's on the floor, because they play so hard. This is the one thing that we've talked about. When you started watching the Wagners play, and you loved the way that they played, and even the Magic from 2 years ago, how connected and together they played, where it didn't matter who scored. It didn't matter who was bringing the ball up the court. It was just play your ass off on defense, play together, play connected, and go out and just try to win basketball games. And that was what endeared us so much to the Magic 2 years ago. And it's something that we hadn't seen the entire year this year. And for some reason, something clicked. And now, they're talking about they might they beat the Pistons. Now you get the Cleveland or the Raptors. You have a legitimate shot to make the Eastern Conference Finals. And, look at it from Jamal Mosley's perspective as well, too. Like that guy was a dead man walking. And now all of a sudden you get to go coach against your best friend in the entire world in JB Bickerstaff. And you come out and you have a chance to get the best of them. I think this game is very important tonight, though. I think that you have a chance to make a statement for who you are as a team, and come out and just play your absolute ass off. Let the chips fall as they may. You don't want to get
putting in there that Franz might not play tonight.
I don't think he should.
I agree with you. That's what I was going to say.
He should not play tonight. And one thing we know, you've had high ankle injuries, right? You've had these injuries to around the same thing. Now you're talking about a calf strain. What have we seen every playoffs that a calf strain turns into? It turns into an Achilles. And we saw it happen with Dante DiVincenzo, obviously Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, which is weird that the last three guys to tear their Achilles have worn 0, but neither here nor there. Is this something?
Are they spending time in San Francisco?
I would bench him all the way up until if you need him game 7. Because I think you have interchangeable guys. And I think the one thing that you can say about this Magic team and this organization is that they've done a great job at talent evaluation as well. When it comes to these guys, Jamal Cain, who's able to come off the bench and be a contributor, bang down threes. Obviously, he just absolutely took the soul out of Jalen Duren on that dunk that he had. But even Tristan da Silva, who's been interchangeable now as well, too. Javon Carter was a big lift for a lot of the regular season that we had when we needed a guy to come in and fill in. I think they've done a great job at some of the talent evaluation things that the Magic have. And that's one thing you got to give them credit for. Because it just looks like roster-wise, they're not even comparable, the Pistons and the Magic. It looks like there's one guy on the Pistons who's better than everybody else in the court, and then the next 5 best players are all in the Magic.
Well, Duran had a bad right? Duran. He had a bad game, but
he's had a terrible series. Wendell has dominated him. So
when you're going back and talking about Paolo and maybe trade him and stuff, I've watched obviously more Magic over the past 3-4 games than I have the entire season. All right. What I saw from Paolo last game was not it. He was not the superstar on the court. It was Desmond Bane. And I remember talking to you back when that trade went down. I'm like, wait, what? Like all of these picks for this guy? Like, and of course, he is outplaying everybody else on. I'll even go as far as Franz Wagner is outplaying Paolo. To me, I get Luka vibes from. I said it to Bianca. I go, he plays defense like Luka. Like if you watch Paolo, because I'm locked in on him
at all.
Well, look, if you watch the replay of that game, dude, I'm telling you right now, either he was gassed or he just wasn't into it. Because I locked onto him because I'm invested in him. Invested in him. And I didn't see it. I didn't see the hustle. I didn't see the drive. I didn't see the firepower. I saw Franz Wagner, whatever how you want to pronounce it, running circles around that court while Paolo's literally just standing there on both sides of it. So to your point, I don't know what's going on with him, but then there's also a point. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's got DJ Moore vibes. Okay. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying either A, he was on the court too long, whether that's him staying in there or the coach, not wanting to pull him out because of whatever friction that they had, whether he was gassed towards the end. I don't know. I just didn't see it, man. I didn't see the hustle plays. I didn't see the fire, man. And to your point, you're about to go 3-1 up. This is a commanding game. You win that game, which they did without Wagner. I want to see some intensity, and I saw it out of Bane, and I sure as shit saw it out of Cain. Holy moly! The dunk of the playoffs. That was absolutely amazing. The leap on that guy, put him on the vertical. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot because, if Franz is out the next game, he's going to have to do something. I
think what you'll have Tristan da Silva will step into the starting lineup. They'll still use Cain off the bench. I think the thing with Paolo is one thing that you can say about him. Sometimes he gets into this mode where he shouldn't be a point guard. First of all, he doesn't need to bring the ball up the court every single play. He needs to be sitting up high post. He needs to be able to just crush the mini game, be able to get to the basket when guys overextend themselves a little bit, and drive. That's what he does. He gets a very quiet 25. Like you won't look at Paolo and be like, man, he dominated the game and he had 28. It's like, oh wait, Paolo has 28. How? Well, he shot 11 free throws, 12 free throws. And he's done a credit to him. I said last year, one thing he has to do, he has to get on the free throw line and just absolutely attack free throws in the offseason. And he's definitely upped his percentage.
I think he
He's
only
done,
missed
he's
2 or 3.
done a great job. But if you look at his game 4 performance, or I'm sorry, game 3 performance, right? 25, 12, and 9. So I mean, he's right there on now those like crazy stat lines of kind of doing it all. I think
I just
he'll
want
be
to see
fine.
the intensity out of him, and I think that he needs if he wants to be paid the supermax guy, and he wants to have
he already is
the voice. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The voice in the clubhouse. When him and the coach are getting together, I need to see the intensity. I just don't see him being a leader on the floor, honestly. And if you're the supermax guy, you got to be the leader, right? That's what they're paying you for.
I mean,
I need to see you take control. I need you to take charge.
LeBron wasn't the leader on the floor until year 2 in Miami. So I do think that we got to understand that these kids are.
He was also playing with Dwayne Wade at that time.
But in my personal opinion, I don't think LeBron knew or had the ability to absolutely be the alpha that everybody rose to and led a team to until he went to Miami and learned from Dwayne Wade how to do that. And now you see what LeBron is now on every team that he's been on.
So is he learning from Bane?
I don't know. That guy? I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, I think we need to give them time to develop. And
I don't need to give anybody time when you're getting paid $60-something million a year. Absolutely,
I disagree. I think you could still be getting paid $60 million a year, but you still have to have time to grow. I mean,
well, if you're going to be the guy that's getting the max contract, if you're going to be the guy that's voicing disdain for your coach and decisions, if you're strong enough to have those vocal acumens, then you're strong enough to be a leader on the court.
Tice, he has not. I mean, you could say him saying that he felt like we didn't make adjustments in certain games is throwing your coach under the bus. But other than that, he's said nothing or done nothing to attack Jamal Mosley directly.
I didn't say he's attacking.
Okay, well, you're making it seem like he's like a cancer in the locker room. And
I'm just saying, if he can vocalize those types of things, I want to see. I don't care if you get a super max contract. Super max contract is after year 5, 4, 5.
4, I believe you're then eligible.
Okay, so 4 years. So 4 years, and then you're supermax. Be like a quarterback in the NFL, right? If you're a quarterback in the NFL, and if you've proven yourself over the 4 years, and you become the highest paid quarterback, are you the leader? Are you the leader of the offense? You absolutely are. That's all I want to say. All I'm saying is I don't know again, and I'm not saying it's just this in general. I'm just saying I saw a very lackadaisical Paulo at the end of this game, and whether he was gassed, I don't know. I'm putting it out there, so maybe the coach needs to. I want to see him take over. I want to see him be Jordan of the Bulls, LeBron of the Lakers, Wade of the Heat. I want to see him. You're getting paid like that. And to your point, Orlando needs that. Orlando needs the guy. And you guys have never had the guy. You had Shaq, and then he left because he didn't want to be the guy there.
Bro, we had Tracy McGrady in his prime.
Oh, yes. Because when I think about all of the legends across the league and the people that have just impacted the game, Tracy McGrady is the first one that comes up. I'd give you maybe Penny Hardaway before that.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind. Anyway, tonight on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I think the 9.5.
Sign up for another $25 for another
whatever
NBA game.
11.5, whatever it is. It just seems like it's too much. 9.5, it's down to now. It was 11.5 last night, so somebody's hammered that line down.
I think this is a passive game. To your point, I think that you're going to rest whoever you need to rest. This is a throwaway game. I know you think it's very important. I do think it's important, but I think it's a throwaway game until you come back at home and try to cleanse it at home.
I think it's huge for mental psyche. I think you have a chance right now to go out and literally put a statement on this. The one thing I will say about the Magic, they will not quit because they're so deep that even their reserves, when they come in, will play their ass off. Jace Richardson, Noah Penda, J.I., Mo, they'll come in, they'll play their ass off. Jet Howard, like they will come in and they will put up points. So if you're watching this game,
Mo even play last game?
He hasn't played in a while.
What about Jonathan Isaac?
J.I. has been hurt. He got hurt toward the end of the year. But we're kind of waiting on him he's questionable. He might play tonight. So we'll see.
What is it? And again,
they have a log jam. They have a log jam at center. Honestly, when all their guys are healthy, who are you supposed to play? Like Goga played great this series.
That's the Arabian looking guy. Who? What's his name again?
He's from Georgia.
Georgia, the country, not the state.
Correct. I always had this argument with my friends about You know, I was going back and forth this one of my buddies in a group chat about Isaiah Stewart and that he's a fake tough guy. And I'm like, Goga's a real tough guy. Goga literally like battled through civil war in his country to sneak out to try to get to the USA to play basketball. This man has killed people. Like when you talk about being a tough guy, like I don't think about Ty, who babysat Isaiah Stewart when he was a kid. I don't you know, like Clarence parents have a real good marriage. Like I just don't see Isaiah Stewart being that guy that is like this super tough guy.
There's a difference, especially in this area where you're coming up with, I'm not saying a silver spoon in your mouth, but you're coming up with talent and then you're handed, millions of dollars in the college level and to where you actually go to your professional sports and you make less when you come into your professional sports, to your point, guys well, let's see what happens tonight. Let's move it on over. Jeff, the Thunder and the Spurs both advance relatively easy.
Yeah,
I did watch a lot of the Spurs because I'm also heavily invested in Wemby. I need Wemby to slow down, bro. You know, the wacky, wavy, inflatable arm guy, that's what he looks like, dude. The guy is hustling all over, and his arms are just all over the place. Calm down, bro. I don't need you hurt. Like, there's no need for all that. But he is an absolute freak, dude.
How
do you stop that guy?
Did the Spurs get to just be able to win these ping pong balls and get Wemby, get Castle, get Harper, trade for Fox, like.
Well, it's like the Thunder.
Nauseating. And
look at the Thunder. The Thunder not only got all of those picks from the trades, they've got so many first round picks that they can't. What are they going to do? They don't even need them.
Well, I remember we had this conversation last year, or I guess last offseason, about how they have too many picks and they got to figure something out to do with it. So what they do, they went and traded for Jared McCain, who from Philly, who is now, could possibly be like 6th man of the year. Like, guy just comes in and lights it up every single game. It's like, whatever. I mean, they're on a crash course for each other. Honestly, if we're going to be honest, like maybe some of those teams, maybe the Lakers, maybe the Nuggets can win a couple games in one of those series. I don't see it.
Well, let's start off with the Lakers, Jeff. LeBron James is obviously doing something pretty spectacular out there. 3-1 against the Rockets. No KD though throughout this whole series. Obviously, that's huge. The youngsters from the Rockets just don't have the playoff experience, in my opinion. No, KD's huge, but let's not take away anything with LeBron. Obviously, no Luka, no Austin Reeves, and still getting it done out there with Bronny. They're up 3-1, and that game is also tonight, Jeffrey, at 10 o'clock tonight. Looking to close out the Rockets. I see no reason why they don't get that done.
No,
get that done. So it looks like Thunder, Lakers next.
I think just a cool thing as well too is that some of these guys get like dismissed and they're like their bust, their career's over, they're out of the league. Marcus Smart, right, was wasting away in Washington, and now all of a sudden he gets to go and play with LeBron and Luka and Austin, and Ayton's had a little bit of a resurgence here as well too, and it's just like, sometimes guys just need the right spot. And Marcus Smart, to me, has been the biggest factor in this series. I know Luke Kennard's played great.
He's a hustle player.
I know he scored points, but Marcus Smart has literally been – I mean, LeBron has been LeBron. Let's not take away anything from what he's been able to do and accomplish, but I think Marcus Smart has been the X factor in this series 1,000% with the way he shot the ball, played, his heart, his hustle, everything. Shout out to Marcus Smart. Looks like he's back from Oklahoma State days.
I mean, yeah, when you get to, especially to a team, when you have, to your point, Luka, LeBron, even Austin Reeves, obviously all the focus is going to be on them. It lets you allow to play your ball a little bit. I mean, obviously we saw that in Boston, and he did very well in Boston. But unfortunately for him in Boston, it was time to move in a different direction. So
yeah, and I think that was just more of like it's just time to break up kind of a thing. They went and got Drew Holiday then, who kind of played that role and replaced them. And it was unfortunate.
Yep. All right, Nuggets T-Wolves. Now this one's going to be very, very interesting here. Tomorrow we have Game 6.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe Minnesota jumped up to a 3-1 lead, and then Denver won the last game. Obviously, no Anthony Edwards. You mentioned DiVincenzo. And former Bull Ayo DeSumo, also University of Illinois, stepping up with 43 points, I believe, the other night.
Incredible.
Absolutely love that for that kid. It just amazes me. The Bulls had Ayo. They had what's the guy from Portland that's really good? We traded him. Yeah, Avita.
He was on Chicago.
Yeah, he was on the Bulls. Yeah, we traded him.
No, he was on Washington.
I'm telling you, we traded him because that had to do with our pick. We had who's the guy that I always crept on from the Magic? Now he's in Boston.
From the Magic, who's in Boston? Ooh, Nick Vucevic.
Yeah, Vooch is in there. Like, all these guys are doing well in the playoffs team, and they were all on the Bulls organization, and they just said, you know what? No. As a matter of fact, and before I just want to talk on this real quick. Obviously, the Bulls have cleaned their front office out, gone. I don't know if it's going to change anything. They offered Billy, from my sources, Billy Donovan, the keys to the kingdom. Literally control over personnel, this, that, and the other. And he said, I'm good. I'm leaving. Does that will speak miles about an organization right there. You offer the keys to the kingdom to a head coach. We'll draft your personnel. You're going to be involved. You make the final calls. And he's like, nah, I'm good. I know I'm still under contract, but nah, I'm going to go ahead and resign.
I know that he has been like a wonder boy for a long time. But can we have an honest conversation about
He's been a wonder boy. He hasn't really done much since he left Florida, honestly.
Well, but I'm saying he's been like a darling in terms of the way that he's viewed in coaching circles and obviously the NBA and stuff like that. But in terms of production, what has he really accomplished? Florida, you had 5 NBA players who all came back. And you got multiple titles out of it, right? But then you go to OKC, right? And we can say that run they had with Paul George and Russell Westbrook, and Steven Adams was on that team, I think, as well too. And kind of the way that played out was good. But then you leave, and then OKC really starts to pop. You go to Chicago,
players,
and I mean, they got players because they traded the players that they had that were on their team,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Over in the Paul George trade. So but
that's kind of what I'm saying, though. It's like Billy's there, right?
Done?
I think that they gave Billy these players and said, "You're such a good coach, make this work," right? So then he leaves, and they bring in other players, and now they're great. Then he goes to Chicago, and I guess you had DeRozan, Zach LaVine at one point. I don't know. Was that possible? I don't know, because then they went to the Sacramento Kings basically all together, and they suck over there as well. So I don't know what the answer is. He has not had the performance in the NBA. That's absolutely fair statement. All I'm saying is, from an organizational standpoint, and to the end, when you're going into the end of this year, they literally traded every player that was due a contract extension. They traded them all for second round picks. Jeff, tell me, how much of a value is a second round pick in the NBA?
Bro, I saw this thing, and it was like, it listed all the players that the Bulls had that are currently on NBA rosters that are in the playoffs and contributing on NBA rosters in the playoffs. And it listed all these dudes, and it said, guess how many first round picks they got out of this?
Zero. Exactly.
So
that's what I don't understand. You allowed these people to go through and trade all of these picks, and then you fire them all later. It's just, dude, it's just poverty. So when you were talking about the Magic, about how the fans are yearning for this situation, okay, yeah, I do understand, Jeff. I do understand. Let's get into it. Yeah.
You've lived through 3 three-peats. I'm sorry, 2 three-peats.
And you had Shaq and Penny for a while. You beat Jordan in a playoff.
We've made it to the finals twice, and we've won 1 game total out of those 2 finals.
You beat Jordan. That's got to be a feather in the cap.
We beat 45.
All right.
We didn't beat
Nuggets Timberwolves. So we talked about.
You know what happened when we played 23? We got swept the very next year. So
you done pissed them off, Jeffrey.
I was watching this clip back about the Magic and about how they were back then, and like the Shaq leaving and the way that everything unfolded, and he pulls up late to a game, and Brian Hill playing. There's a whole like cast of characters and different things that were going about. But it was crazy to think that Shaq got swept out of those back-to-back playoffs. We got swept out of the finals and then went back and got swept by the Bulls and Jordan that year too. So, and that was the end of Shaq's tenure in Orlando.
Orlando would just never be.
We've just listen. We got to be real ourselves. We've had a terrible front office for a long time of our existence. We have not handled superstars the right way. We have constantly had great players and sent them on other places and let them walk.
Yep, you don't have to. I'm well aware. All right, Nuggets T-Wolves, Jeff. Can the Nuggets come back? How long is Anthony Edwards out?
He might be out. They're gonna say he's a game time decision. Probably every game that they have. But I guess it is good that they got a little respite and a break. They got an extra day here on a travel day. But this is exactly what I was saying about the Magic series, right? You're talking about a team that's down 3-1 that you think you have your foot on their necks, that you're coming off a huge win. Now you got to go play in their spot, right? Well, they win. Now you're heading back to yours. Now all the pressure's back on you for game 6, because if you lose game 6, you got to go right back there for game 7 and play them again. So,
I'm gonna burst your bubble here, Jeff. This is yesterday's report. Anthony Edwards is expected to miss at least 2 weeks.
If I was the Timberwolves, I would list him as a game time decision.
Well, I don't know how you're going to do that when that report's out, but I mean, do they have tampering like the NFL? I don't know.
I will say questionable to play tomorrow night.
Ayo stepping it up, man. I love it. Love to see it. I have his rookie. I'm invested in him as well.
Of course.
Love to see it, Jeff. Love to see all my little investments out there doing well. How about those Cavs and Raptors, Jeff? 2-2. I don't think anybody did we see this series like this? We thought the Cavaliers was a little bit higher echelon than the Raptors. I know it's a 4 or 5 seeds.
Yeah, I unfortunately lost a future parlay that I had put in yesterday, which was over on games for certain series. So, I had over on 5.5 games on the Nuggets series, over 5.5 on Raptors and Cavs. What was the other one? Over 5.5 on what's the other series in the East?
Knicks Hawks
that I had as well too. And then the last one was over 5.5 on the Spurs and Trailblazers, which of course the Trailblazers obviously up by 19 one game, 15 another game, and somehow lose both those games after winning one. Just diabolical shit. Whatever, all good. But this is one of the ones I thought would go a little bit extended. I think the Cavs are a little bit overrated for some of the moves that they've made. Harden always folds in the playoffs. Toronto is a difficult place to play. That crowd, the energy that they provide and bring, you've seen it in the playoffs before. It pops. It's really, really good there. So I thought that would be tough for them. At the end of the day, I still think Cleveland probably wins in 7. I think Cleveland probably wins tonight. I think Toronto wins back at home, and then Cleveland will win game 7 back on their home court.
And the Magic beat Cleveland?
It would be apropos. It would be like an incredibly written script for what the Magic have gone through the past 4 years, making the playoffs, to not only face off against the Pistons. And obviously there's history, right? The Magic were up 3-1 against the Pistons with Tracy McGrady playing the Pistons, and they're one of only like 5 teams to ever be up 3-1 and lose the series. But so there is history there with this. But to be able to go, and then you also get revenge against Cleveland, who's knocked you out a couple times in the playoffs on really good series, to get revenge against the Celtics, who it feels like you always have an issue or a battle with. It just feels like they're starting to see a script that's being written for them right now.
Well, let's not get a little too far ahead of ourselves, Jeff. Let's talk about Nick Hawks. These sneaky Hawk teams looking pretty good over there.
Really
another
good.
One that we talked about. They got rid of Trey. I want to say Henderson, but it's not Henderson. Trae Young.
Yep.
And became a better team.
Yep.
Quinn Snyder, I think we both revere as one of the better coaches in the NBA. Brilliant
Absolutely.
NBA mind.
Looks like a lesbian, if we're going to be honest. He dresses.
He's been rough, bro. If you followed him from his time at Mizzou,
brother, was the sharpest dude in the gym.
Young,
and
energetic.
now I'm like, what happened, dude?
Dude, he's been through the ringer, bro.
Like,
he's been through the ringer.
What happened?
He looks
dude?
like he's been president for 8
crazy.
years.
I'm shocked. I saw it the last game and I go, what is he wearing or doing? How thick are those glasses? That is insane. The Hawks are really good, man. But the Knicks, like I remember, I think I said this. The Hawks. First of all, when they traded for CJ McCollum, what a great move. They signed Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the offseason. He's been unbelievable this year. The pieces they've added, Dyson Daniels, Jalen John. I mean, these guys are really, really good players. And I think the Knicks still win the series. I think Jalen Brunson is too tough. Yeah, I don't see a way. I think Karl Anthony Towns has a gear that he has not hit. When he starts to turn it on and actually decides to play basketball and play with effort and force, I think he can be really, really good. We'll see if he can ever get there.
All right. Last but not least, Celtics 76ers. 76ers holding on to a little life with a game win last night.
Yeah.
Boston still up 3-2 here. Embiid still trying to find it. Are we ready to talk about Embiid and his place in the NBA? I know he's not quite Greg Oden status.
He was incredible in the second half. He was incredible in the second half last night. He was actually incredible all night last night. If you look at the box score, I think he was like 12 of 16 or something like that from the floor. No, it could have been 12, 16 because he was 0 of 5 from 3 in the first half. Decided not to attempt one in the second half. Obviously, you see how they start to pull away there with Philly. Great win for them. I think Philly's future is really bright, especially with Maxey and Edgecombe. If Embiid could just stay healthy at all. Grimes had a huge pickup and play last night to put them over the edge as well. So listen, the series isn't over. Obviously, teams that are facing the brink of elimination are going to fight their ass off. That's just the way that it goes and the way that life is. But in my opinion, the Celtics are just way too deep. The fact that Vooch comes off the bench for the Celtics is just like the biggest joke in the world to me. Like Queta starts. Like their starting lineup is wild too. Like just with Pritchard, with White, with Brown, with Tatum being back to being Tatum again. It's an embarrassment of riches right now for the Boston Celtics. Good for them.
Yeah, I would completely agree. There's a few of those teams out there that's like that bench is just completely deep. Sorry. Just responding to a little email there. I apologize for the disruption. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see them. Last we had Knicks Hawks. Knicks.
We just talked about Knicks Hawks.
We just talked about Knicks Hawks. Yep. What were we talking? Boston. All right, so
we're done. We're going with NBA.
We're going tomorrow.
Should be a fun night.
Tomorrow is going to be Game 6 in Philadelphia. So I think to your point, Jeff, what you're talking about the Magic, this is one of those games that feels almost like a must-win for the Celtics, even though they have that deep bench. You don't want to go back home for Game 7.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. Well, NBA playoffs, I'll tell you, I said it all along. The regular season sucks, but the playoffs are must-see TV, and they are letting them play, brother. I don't know if you've watched a lot of these other games. I've got all the TVs set up when I'm not up here, doing my thing over here where I'm down to one TV, but I've watched a lot of these games, and it is physical on that court. It's playoff basketball.
Yeah, Magic and Pistons have just been beating the shit out of each other. Like it's just been tracked down. It's just been a battle, a fight back and forth. And it's if you like basketball, it's awesome to watch. If you just want to be entertained and see a bunch of shooting and guys running up and down the court not being defended, you're gonna hate it. So, but it's gonna be the same thing next series. Regardless of who wins, even if it's Detroit and Toronto, if it's Detroit and Cleveland, if it's Orlando against either of those teams, it's going to be the same series. It's the way the Magic play. It's why the Celtics have complained about it. It's why the Cavs have complained about it the past few years as well too. They're going to be physical. It's the way it is.
Jeff, I heard a rumor that there's some new lottery system happening with the NBA to prevent tanking.
They are trying something new out when it comes to. There's a proposition on the table. I think we're going to see if it gets ratified by the NBA owners. basically, if you're a bottom 3, you're going to get an extra ping pong ball. Is that correct, Jeremy? The bottom 3, and then everybody else is pretty much equal, all the way to 16. So 16 teams. Everybody has a pretty equal shot, except for the bottom 3. The bottom 3 will have 1 extra ping pong ball, 2 extra ping pong balls.
And they expand from 14 to 16 teams.
The top two will have. I know I can just look at my phone. I
was going to say exactly.
This is terrible.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, I read this thing and I'm like, this is Chinese.
Between that dropped in the NCAA tournament, expanding dropped at the exact same time yesterday. When I looked at my phone, it was like they put out simultaneous messages saying that this was happening to distract you from what's going on.
How much longer before we just get rid of the NIT tournament?
Yeah, that's what I said. Rest in peace, NIT. Especially because now it's like, what's your incentive?
Like one giant tournament
to play in the NIT either? Like
money, they still get paid.
Who?
The colleges.
Okay, but if you're like, if you're a good player and you're about to go pro or whatever it is, do you really want to go play a couple extra games to possibly injure yourself, and then maybe your NIL deal falls through the next year? Maybe now all of a sudden, instead of a first round pick, you're bouncing around on a 2-way in the G League. Like, I just think that it's tough. So top 3 only get 2 balls. 4 through 10 get 3 balls. Okay, I'm not reading that.
This is the stupidest shit ever, dude.
I'm not reading that.
Let's move it on. NBA lottery system sucks. We all
NFL drafts just happened.
NFL draft was done, Jeffrey. Can I go on the record and say this is probably the most uninteresting NFL draft in recent time?
Absolutely.
I mean,
I paid attention as soon as the Bucks pick happened. I fucking flicked it off.
I mean, I didn't even watch all the Bears picks.
And the Bucks pick was me just being like, is Ruben Bain actually going to fall to us here? Is Ruben Bain actually going to fall to us here? There's no way that Ruben Bain's about to fall to us here. And then sure as shit, we got Ruben Bain. And I was like, how did that happen?
Ruben Bain Jr., Jeff.
I'm sorry, Ruben Bain Jr. How did that happen?
I would say the
most dominant player
teams passed on him.
I understand. And this is where I think NFL, like these NFL GMs just jump the shark so much. Like, we're talking about the length of his arms. You're talking about a dude who played everybody, right? Like, Miami played a legitimate schedule last year. It was not like they played a bunch of cupcakes. They played a legitimate schedule. They went to the national championship. They were in the game in the national championship, had a chance to win at the very end. And Ruben Bain dominated every game that he played. What are we doing? How do you allow this guy to drop 15 picks? I don't understand it. It was absolutely crazy to me. Shout out Jason Licht, though. Thank you.
There's a prototype that they like, Jeff, and he obviously didn't fit into it. I mean, I think the biggest there was two big things, right, in this draft, I guess you want to call it. Jeremiah Love going 3 to the Arizona Cardinals, which
crazy.
So did I hear this right, that he will now on a rookie deal be the highest paid running back?
Running back. No, okay, not the highest paid. He has the most guaranteed money of any running back.
Like $10 million more than Saquon, I do believe is what I heard. Yeah, pretty crazy there.
It is crazy too that the Cardinals have just decided first of all, who's handing him the football in Arizona?
Carson Beck.
Jacoby Brissett, who they're still trying to sign because he's holding
Carson Beck.
And also, how are you going to sit there and draft a running back when you have no offensive line?
and you just signed Tyler Algier.
Like, what? Well, that was the funny thing too. People are like, "Oh, can you imagine? All these guys who are gonna draft him, and then all of a sudden Tyler Algier is gonna have to score 10 touchdowns next year from the goal line."
Tyler Algier's a stud, dude. I drafted him when I had Bijan doubled up a lot of times. I mean, he's a stud. I get
last year. I didn't do it.
I get it to the point of a lot of people are talking about like it's just a bad pick salary cap wise, but then I also understand that you take the best player available and you figure out the money. I understand that as well, but to me, there's just so many people. I think what happened here is going back to my first comment of I think this is probably one of the most uninteresting drafts of the year. nobody was willing to pay any prices to move up because there was no price that was worth it. Nobody's giving up their next round picks to move up. I'm saying next year's picks to move up because next year is going to be a loaded draft, or at least it's suspected to be a loaded draft.
It is loaded, Tyson.
Yeah.
Not suspected. It is. I mean, there's guys. If Jeremiah Smith would have come out this year, he would have been a top 5 pick.
Same with Dillon Gabriel. Like, I was actually surprised that he didn't go. Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback from Oregon. Is it not Dillon Gabriel?
Dillon Gabriel was the quarterback on Oregon. You are correct. He was also the quarterback on Oklahoma and UCF, but he was actually drafted last year by the Cleveland Browns, I believe in the 3rd round. Before I said 3rd round. Yeah, 3rd round. Before Shedeur. And he is
no. I'm sorry.
Not good at football.
I'm talking about the quarterback that's at Oregon right now. Type it in there, Jeremy. It just came to him.
No, Moore. Dante Moore.
Dante Moore.
Yeah.
Dante Moore. You put Dylan Raiola.
Well, Dylan Raiola is the quarterback who was the Patrick Mahomes cosplay, who was at Nebraska under Matt Rule for the past few years and literally transferred.
415, same hair.
So there was this funny thing, right? They had Brittany and Patrick, like they hosted them at Oregon to show them Nike or whatever. They were doing some like tour of whatever it is. And then literally later that week, Dylan Raiola announced he was transferring to Oregon. So he transferred to Oregon, and then Oregon's starting quarterback, Dante Moore, decided that he was going to come back to school. So Dante Moore is there. They also have Dylan Raiola, both.
Like I said, I was surprised he didn't go because regardless, I mean, he might not have went high, but he was definitely probably going to go in the 1st round.
Yeah. Shout out to Ohio State.
Now it's going to be a stud.
I mean, Ohio State with what, five guys that went just is insane, and they're all studs. I mean, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, like I thought the Giants did well. I thought the Cowboys did well in the draft.
Well, before we get into that, let's look with the surprise picks here. Jeremiah Love, obviously. Then the next one was the surprise pick at 13. The Rams taking Ty Simpson.
Yeah,
a lot of people were talking about would it even go in the 1st round.
Have you seen this story about how this played out?
About how they had a meeting with him beforehand?
But also how Ty Simpson's dad is the coach at like Middle Tennessee or some like mid-major like that. He's the head coach at, and he is best friends with the GM, I believe, of the Rams. And so basically, like, the Rams GM has known Ty Simpson for years. And there was this entire thing of like he basically told him, he was like, if Ty's there, assuming he doesn't go before 13, which he wasn't.
They didn't trade for 13, did they?
No.
It says from Atlanta.
Yeah, because that was
that was the one they got in the trade previous.
And so that was the pick that Atlanta traded. That they moved up and got James Pierce Jr., who James Pierce Jr. Was dating a member of the WNBA's Atlanta Dream. And she broke up with him. He went absolutely batshit crazy, blocked her in. He got charged with like 4 felonies. He's probably never going to play football again.
Oh, he'll be back. He was a monster this year. Teammates.
He was a monster this year, and yeah, he's facing like 25 years. It's crazy.
Him and Henry Ruggs will be back on the field together, brother.
He's got like assault on a Leo on there as well too, like imprisonment, like
what do you think of the pick with Ty Simpson and the Rams?
I hate it. I think it's terrible. I don't understand why a team that is constantly over and over again been a team that is in win now mode. You have Matt Stafford. Even if Matt Stafford tells you I only have 1 year left that I'm going to play, right? Okay, next year's draft class is loaded with fucking quarterbacks. Like, why did you feel the need to waste draft capital and salary cap space on pick 13 for a quarterback that you probably could have got? It's the same thing like what the Chiefs do. The Chiefs traded up to get up there to draft a cornerback that is a good cornerback, but was really not in anybody's top 20 in terms of guys that were going to be taken off the board. So a lot of just really weird moves. I hate the Ty Simpson pick. I don't understand it whatsoever.
I do see your point, right?
As long as he says he's going to be there,
right? And of course, McVay's come out and said that it's Matthew Stafford's teams, and I also understand the point of you're on the team right now. How does this help us win now? But then I also understand, like to your point as well, this team is in win now. When are they ever going to have a top 15 pick moving forward? They're a Super Bowl favorite this year, right? So I mean, you're going to be picking in the bottom half of the draft next year, and you're not going to have the capital to move up to take one of those guys. So from that perspective, I understand it. You're not going to be picking 13 for probably a couple years.
Yeah.
And to have somebody in there to take the quarterback when you don't need the quarterback versus when you do, and having learned under Matt Stafford, and if all of the tools that we've seen or that they know of translates, then now you're looking at an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love type scenario where he comes in and sits behind a well-oiled machine, probably going to get some garbage burn time, of course. Will Matt Stafford stay healthy the whole time? Whatever happened to the drunk kid? Stetson Bennett. Whatever happened to him?
You didn't hear McVay's press conference after they drafted him?
Is he still in rehab?
No.
What?
He said they come out and they go, oh, so, Ty Simpson, I'm assuming he's going to be the backup. And he goes, well, he's going to compete with Stetson Bennett to be the backup, which is like, you drafted dude the first round. He might be a practice squad player. I don't. There was nothing that I saw from Ty Simpson all year that was like, wow, like that's really good. And I feel like this is a move that was made based off of prior relationships, and with emotion involved, which is never a good thing. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is the first chink in the armor of McVay and Stafford moving on.
We'll see. The Bears end up scooping up Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon, which a lot of people are really praised. They said the second best safety in the draft there behind Caleb Downs. White guy, token, nice. I saw a lot of speculate or talk about this kid and what the defenses are going to now. It's like you're drafting safeties, but they play corner as well. They play different positions. They're just a free safety. They're a safety, free safety, corner.
You play nickel. You come
and they can move around. So that way they say, okay, if this guy's on the field, we know that they're a nickel because he's on the field, and that's the only way that he can play. So they're kind of moving a little bit more to these hybrid players.
Yeah,
I'll be very. Sure. I know nothing about him. I'll say that right off the bat. So yeah, I guess whatever. Whatever. Like I said, this is fair.
Is Byard still on the roster? Or no, he's gone.
Nah, he's gone. The Bears secondary, the Bears secondary, the Bears defense got gutted. A lot of Bears fans are up in arms. You let Tremaine Edmonds go. You let Nahshon Wright go. You let the guy Kevin Byard go. Who was the guy that is Kevin Byard? The one with Simone Biles, or the other guy?
No, that's Owens.
Right? Jonathan Owens. Yeah, you let him go. And they're like, oh, you let all these guys go. And I'm like, do you not realize that was one of the worst defenses in the NFL? They just got turnovers.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, you give up like 50 they got, fucking 49.
Yeah, they got cooked everywhere. Oh, there we go. Jeff's got issues again. They got cooked everywhere on that defense. Sometimes Jeff gets excited. He clicks the side button on his mouse. It's just a little twitch there.
Figure out how to unbind that.
Yeah.
That'd be
real quick, we're gonna wrap this up real quick. Jeff, who do you think had the best draft in a draft class that was just not really?
I mean, as first rounds go, I thought that
just first round. We're not talking about
Giants did pretty well. I mean, you could say the Bucks got great value, right? With Bain dropping all the way there. It's so funny the consensus that the Jacksonville Jaguars had the absolute worst draft in the history of NFL drafts.
Did they even draft in the first round?
I don't. No. Somebody said that they
It's kind of hard to have a good draft when you don't
had
draft
4 picks. No, but they had multiple third rounders and second rounders, and even the tight end kid they took way early was terrible as well too. I hated the Dolphins draft. I'm not a Caden Proctor guy. Now maybe he turns out to be okay. I don't see it, and I thought there was other places you can go. And my opinion was that if you're going to tell me the guy had motor issues playing for Alabama on Saturdays, How's it going to be playing on Sundays at fucking Hard Rock Stadium when the Dolphins are 0-7 to start the year next year? Tell me how that guy's motor is going to be running. Complete red flag to me. I just,
how's your motor going to be running?
yeah, like that thing's not going to be humming like a Lambo. I'll tell you that, dude. Like that kid is going to be so checked out in Miami. And there was a couple other guys too who got taken, certain places that I was just like, man, the whole family's in white and everybody has their own Lamborghini Urus, and like your jewelry is insane, as opposed to Ruben Bain, who gets drafted, doesn't even pose for the picture, just snatches the hat, walks up and is like, I don't really care. I just want to get to work. They asked him about
who was the guy that said, I'll die for you, man. I think it was the Giants.
Unbelievable. That's why I said I love the Giants draft.
Like I'll die for you, man.
The fact that the kid from Miami, the offensive tackle from Miami, who they say is like the next Penei Sewell, gets up there and they're like, do you have a message for Jackson Dart? And he goes, I'll die for you, brother. What? Yeah, dude, I want that kid on my team. Jesus. But yeah,
who is it? So
getting him and Arvell Reese, I thought was great. Great for the Giants. I thought they had a fantastic draft, and that's what Harbaugh's going to do, bro. Like, you think Harbaugh's not going to go in there and just immediately start building through the trenches? Like, guaranteed.
So let's see here. So the Bears ended up going. We got took safety number 1, Logan Jones out of Iowa, our a center. So obviously we're trying to figure out since our. Then we traded up and drafted another tight end. Apparently, we're going to be running a lot of 3 tight end sets. Then we took a wide receiver out of LSU. Then we traded up and got Malik Muhammad, the corner from Texas. Now, I don't know if you saw this reaction. Jeremy, did you see his reaction video? So they're calling his name, right? The whole room is jumping up and down doing this. Jeff, this is his face. He's literally sits here like this. No reaction, whatever. He actually addressed it. He said he was overcome with emotions, but nah, dude. That kid's like, nah, I'm good, man. Let's see here. Muhammad. Let me see if I can bring this up. Draft reaction. Draft night video. Oh, no, that's a profile. I don't want that. Oh, come on, man. There it is. There's draft reaction. All right, let me get this. All right, this is from Bussin' with the Boys. So look at him. Can I get this bigger? No.
Congrats, dude.
Wait, watch it goes back. He still hasn't changed. Look at it. I like this comment right here. He's fully aware that the entire group will now be after his money. Bro, look at everybody. Everybody's celebrating. This kid's just still sitting there. No reaction. Is that something or nothing, Jeff?
I don't think it's anything.
I think it's just enjoying the moment. Then we can pick up Keyshawn Elliott from Arizona State, linebacker, and then Jordan Vandenberg, tackle from Georgia Tech. Like I said, bro, I think this was probably one of the most uninteresting drafts.
I agree.
I mean, even he had the number 1 pick. Okay, Fernando Mendoza, sure, but like it
didn't show up to the draft. Number 1 pick, guaranteed number 1 pick, didn't go to the draft.
I don't mind it.
I don't care either.
I don't mind it either. It's just a hoopla. Like I said, it's just another way for them to make money off the backs of the players, Jeff. Just another way. Real quick, just top it up real quick, Jeffrey. Have you happened to see your Atlanta Braves that you told me were going to be absolute dog shit this year and we're not going to compete in anything? Are sitting at 21-9, the best record in baseball, Jeff.
Go figure.
It was logistics for his mother with. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. He's talking about for Fernando. He didn't want to take his mom there because his mom's in a wheelchair.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, you're just an asshole. You're very critical. Anyway,
I'm not critical. I'm just saying.
21-9, Jeff.
I said I support the decision not to go.
Jeff doesn't believe in MS. Doesn't support it. 21-9, Jeffrey. 21-9. Michael Harris the second, bro. Have a player. There's somebody that saw Michael Harris and saw the potential in him. You know who that was, Jeff?
Back when he was rookie of the year?
You know who that was, Jeff? That would be the guy that drafted him for the second year in a row. Absolutely.
Congrats, man.
I do. Thank you. Cubbies whipped off 10 straight in a row, Jeremy. I don't know if you saw that.
You guys want to talk some Cubs on the way out?
No, I don't, Jeff. Quit trying to get out of here.
I have to go.
So do I. I have a show starting in like 30 minutes. So I'm here, brother. And you're here.
Make sure you check out Thomas Memorabilia over on Whatnot. If you are looking for anything.
Jeff, you don't even have to go to Whatnot. You can go to thomasmemorabilia.com.
Just thomasmemorabilia.com. That's it.
That website is up and running, Jeff.
Yep.
Look how beautiful.
Make sure to like and subscribe, please. Also, shout out to us getting up over 200 and something followers now that we have on our YouTube. It's been a long 3-year grind, but we're finally over 200.
We gotta be more than that, aren't we?
No, we're at like 205.
All right. Anything to take us out with, Jeffrey? Are we gonna next week? Are we back next week?
Yeah, we're back next week. We're back, baby. I'm good. I got no trips, nothing scheduled. We're here.
All right. For those of you watching it, jump in. Thomas Memorabilia, 3:30 p.m. We're breaking NFL Chrome today. We're on football. We will see you guys next week. If you have to be driving over the weekend, please, for the love of God, stay out of the left-hand lane. Until then, peace.
Be great.